Parliament enacted the COVID-19 Health Recovery Levy 2021, Act 1068, to impose a special levy on the supply of goods and services and import to raise revenue to support the COVID-19 expenditures and other related matters. The COVID-19 Health Recovery Levy was applicable to both standard rate and VAT flat rate registered person. There have been a lot of conversation with respect to the levy on whether or not it should be scrapped. President Akufo-Addo in S29 address on Sunday declared an end to COVID-19 pandemic in Ghana, but emphasized the significance of the COVID-19 Health Recovery Levy in addressing the unforeseen expenses caused by the crisis. He recognized it might not be the most popular tax, but he appealed to the people of Ghana to comprehend the need for this levy during these challenging times.
Let me make it clear that COVID expenditures, essentially unplanned, have been subject at my instigation to audit by the Auditor General and are going through parliamentary processes. We all deserve to be reassured that the crisis was not used as a cover for corrupt practices. The COVID Health Recovery Levy that was introduced to help fill some of the expenditure holes might not be the most popular tax, but I entreat all of you to bear with us. The COVID Trust Fund has performed an invaluable service, and with these developments has reached the end of its mandate. I thank the trustees as well as all donors and contributors to the fund. Going to the IMF was not part of the economic transformation agenda I'd been pursuing, especially as my government had gone the extra mile to bring to a successful end the IMF program we inherited from the previous government. But who would have imagined that President Akufo-Addo would order the closure of airports, offices, factories, or schools?
But some Ghanaians are calling for the scrap of this levy, indicating it's affecting their income.
The COVID levy should be scrapped off because I feel like it has performed the duty it wants to perform. When it came, even though we had help from outside and other places, we still took this levy. And the levy is so much on the country. In this economy that we are in now, it should be scrapped off so that we can venture our money into other things that will profit with the individuals, than we still paying the levy and not getting anything back from it. Because at the end of the day, I don't think they are going to take in more vaccines. I don't think they are going to buy more sanitizers. No. So they should just scrap it off so that we venture our money into other places. I think the e-levy can cover that side. It's already taking e-levy, a whole percentage that we are not even seeing the accountability of that. So the COVID-19 levy, no, you should just scrap it off. You shouldn't try to play with our mind saying that it's going to push it to somewhere else. Then you should name it other way, not COVID-19 levy. Because already we are waiting for accountability on that and that of the IMF loan that, I don't know if it's a loan they gave or it's free. Here we are. So you should just scrap it off. Or you should just name it because he is good at naming things. You should just name it for us. I believe he's the president and then he makes decisions for the country. So if he making decisions for giving us a free thing doesn't mean we shouldn't hold him accountable. Since he gave us free, after all, some perception will be like, we didn't call for free. You brought it. And I think it was a good initiative he made. But still, we need accountability for the man. You can't tell me you use that whole money for everything. No, yes, we know you run at a loss. If you run at a loss, we just want to see that, oh, you did it and you ran at a loss. You did it and then you had a surplus in our account. Then we go to know that, oh, okay, there's transparency in the country. And then we can push ahead and say, okay, then take the COVID-19 levy and then use it for a different thing. But you don't want to give accountability. No, he should come and account to us. And then we will decide whether the COVID-19 levy should continue.
With the levy, I believe that as COVID-19 has been declared to end, I believe the president may want to find ways to probably end the levy. So we cannot say that the government still wants us to keep paying the levy or whatsoever. Probably he wants to declare an end to the levy as well. But it could also happen that the government may want to continue the levy so that it could channel it to some other profitable ventures that would benefit we as a country too. So I do not see anything wrong with the levy itself, because as Ghanaians, we would have to at least make some contributions to build our country. I believe that as part of governance, accountability is very good. It's a good thing. And in as much as we are calling on the government to be accountable, I think it's a step in the right direction. For me personally, I believe our government has been accountable during even the time of the COVID-19, because it was always giving us updates, and I see that to be a part of accountability. So let's look ahead. I believe that the government would want to listen to the cause of its citizens. So it would probably come out with this kind of accountability that we are looking for. To break down what the monies were used for, it hasn't come officially from the government, but for some of us who were witnessing the developments during the COVID-19 period, realized that some were used to cater for the very poor people in terms of feeding. Some were used for purchasing some of the COVID-19 vaccines and co. So technically, we saw that the money was being used. So as I'm saying, it's just for them to apply the figures to it that this what was used for, and I believe it would come.
I don't think we are supposed to still be paying for the COVID-19 e-levy, because now there's no COVID-19 as declared by WHO. There's no COVID-19 in the system, so I don't think we are supposed to be paying for this COVID-19 e-levy again, because things have increased, prices have increased, inflation is in town. We are not supposed to be adding this also to our income also. So I think if it's scrapped off, it's going to be okay for us, and it's going to help the country also. And we should give it a different name, not COVID-19 e-levy. If you say COVID-19 levy, which means you're going to use it to pay for COVID-19 expenses, but then you using it for health sector, this and something for health sector, name it a different thing. Then we would know this is what we are paying for.
Even though there is the president has declared an end to COVID-19 in Ghana, I think we should still be paying for the COVID-19 levy, since the president has promised us that the funds will be channeled to the development in the health sector. And then I believe the government incurred some costs during the COVID-19. So I think we should be patient with the president this time around and still keep on paying this, the COVID-19 levy.
For me, I want it to be scrapped off. Since the president has already declared an end to COVID-19, I don't think there's a need for him to allow us to pay any levy on it. Yes, so it should be scrapped off. I want to know if it's going to be that feasible. So its feasibility will determine whether it should be maintained or scrapped off. Yeah. Let's say, for example, the motorway. I personally use the motorway all the time. There are potholes. Motorway, there's not supposed to be potholes, but there are potholes that causes accidents day in, day out. Yeah, so I'm not seeing any feasibility in the taxes that we pay to him.
World Bank Country Director Pierre Laporte in 2020 revealed that the World Bank has provided the government of Ghana $430 million to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, Ghana and other countries benefited from the $650 billion fund from IMF to fight COVID-19 pandemic impacts.
So from what the president has said, my inclination is that the president wants to use the COVID-19 levy to increase revenue mobilization in the country. Where we find ourselves as a country in Ghana, we need to find a way to increase the revenue. The alternative for the government is probably go to Parliament and change the name of the tax. That's all, and then you have to justify why that 1% still will have to still be there. That will probably settle the debate that is ongoing. But from the look of things, it has come to stay, and until we get out of these financial challenges we find ourselves in as a country, this 1% will still be on our books. If we strengthen the hand of the internal audit agency in the country and allow them to work, I'm sure we'll be able to find a way to stop this issue of accountability, which is not well done. That was, remember, it was a precondition from IMF that gave way for the $3 billion. We have still not even accounted for. We only accounted for the money we receive, but not the one coming from the VAT component, this 1%. And I'm sure a lot of, even the president admitted it in his speech, that people use it to perpetrate some mismanagement of funds. But I'm sure the audits will be able to bring a lot of these facts out. If the court system works very well, and those who went foul will be taken to court, and then probably ask them to pay back the money that they took.
Some want accountability of all these monies received during the fight against the pandemic from the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and other European partners.
We don't see what it's being used for. There's no accountability for the money. So for me, I think it should be scrapped off. Maybe if government will tell us that, okay, we've used the 1% COVID tax for this, and we can all see that this is what it is, or maybe we've used that money to do this or that, then we know that at least the money we are paying, we are seeing the benefits of the money. But here lies the case that we are not seeing anything the money is being used for, and then we are being asked to pay. So for me, I don't think it's really important to. I don't even want to relate it to the water, free water and free electricity, because every government have budget for the year. And I mean, sometimes we student leaders, we have budget, but sometimes we make provisions for any other things. So I'm sure the money that we receive from WHO and then any other governmental or non-organizational firms that supported COVID-19, those money, we don't even know the total amount of those money. So we can't even say that the government used that money for the free water and free electricity. So to me, it doesn't still count. So we see that government is using the COVID-19 tax for this. It still doesn't count for me. Yeah. It should be a structure, or I don't know how to put it, like a plan that, okay, we are using this money for this, and this is what we are going to do. And then there should be a pictorial or graphical presentation of the thing that you want to do, so that we, the citizens of the country, will know that, okay, at first we didn't see what the money is being used for, but now the government is saying that I want to use the money for this. And then we'll be like, okay, then we'll still continue to pay, because that's how I see it to be.
The government is supposed to be a representative of the people. And of course, we've thrusted our resources for them to use. So in order for them to carry the country along with them, they should be able to account to us. Let us know what the monies they've accumulated, the monies they've been able to collect from us are being used for. If that is not done, I mean, you hear a lot of Ghanaians make assertions that the money they've collected is actually used for nothing, and they don't even see the essence of the COVID-19 levy. But if we are well accounted to, where the monies that have been accumulated are explained to us what they've been able to use it for, I think we'll actually give them applause for that kind of innovation.
Well, I believe the president should be accountable for all the monies being paid due to COVID-19, because it is the money of the Ghanaian people. So if Ghanaians are calling for accountability, I believe the president should should be accountable for all the monies, whether donation or even the COVID-19 levy. The president should be accountable, whatever income they are making and whatever they are channeling the money into. They should be accountable for whatever they are using the money for.
Proper decision making, there should be a good accountability. So if you're not making accountability for any income or expenses that you make, I don't think you're able to make good decisions that is going to have a great impact on the current generation and future generation to come.
The levy is a levy, and I'm sure it's everybody in a way paid for it. So I'm not excluded. I pay for it a way. And it affected me because you're going to pay for something in a mall and you realize that you're paying for the levy. I mean, the prices is shooting up. And maybe the current inflation and all that, imagine how much you're spending on something you're not supposed to be spending on. Yeah, so it impacted me on my spending levels, yeah.
According to the Ministry of Finance fiscal data released on April 22nd, 2022, the government collected 773.93 million Ghana cedis in revenue from the COVID-19 health recovery levy imposed in 2021. This amount received between May and December fell approximately by 12.7% short of the 889.09 million Ghana cedis budget target. However, expenditures related to COVID-19 and its effect totaled over 2.8 billion Ghana cedis for the previous year.